Good evening, Theo Trade. This is Corey Rosenblum, and you're watching the Theo Nightly video for the 15th of September here in 2020, and we're getting a rally. No surprise, but we're going to see how far this rally is going. That's the dominant thesis for the short term, but will it continue? That's where we'll start tonight's video. This is the S&P 500, our S&P futures, that is, and we are getting the bounce. Remember last week we talked about the market returning to the scene of the crime. And that is specifically last week's, or this pivot reversal. We had one up day and a big down day. Makes two of them recently. And now we're getting the third push to the upside from, really, 3,300 in the S&P and this 3,330, which is basically the 50-day moving average. That's just a support level. It is also last week's expected move. Very, very interesting dynamic right there. The NASDAQ, same type of concept, same type of trade, really. This is your from something to something, right? Market gets really overextended, snaps back like a rubber band through the 20, all the way to the 50. That's taken us to 11,000 in the NASDAQ, and we had the similar type of bounce. So we are not only back to the scene of the crime, but we have rallied away from it. That was last week. This is this week. And the Dow, it's a little bit of the same picture. We won't spend too much time focusing on those, but just keep in mind that the broader indices have pushed down to support targets and have rallied. But is this the end of the rally? I think this week will tell us a lot. And Wednesday, that's going to be a Fed day. We don't expect a whole lot to come from the Fed. They surely are not going to raise or lower interest rates, but they may give us a little heads up about what they're thinking about the future, or how they are determining policy, or at least their forecast about what they think the remainder of the months of 2020 might be. So that could be a catalyst for a big move in the market, and it could easily be a catalyst to the upside. So we are watching very closely for this little scene of the crime, this return to where it all happened, to hold support and continue a little bullish bounce. I do want to make a couple of comments. We'll take a look at a scan in a minute, but just something interesting here. If you're trading NVIDIA for a reference, it continues to be a strong stock, getting stronger. And we like to look at these on pullbacks, retracements, or flags. But something really interesting caught my attention this week in NVIDIA, especially if you're trading it on the intraday frame. And this is something that could be very frustrating for a lot of traders, but just as I saw this happen, I wanted to point this out in the video. So most of the time, when a stock is pushing up off support, right, rallying, continuing the uptrend, you normally see that happen on the intraday chart as well. It's like a double boost, double bonus. One really fascinating thing, just for those of you trading NVIDIA, you are seeing NVIDIA push up away from 480, scene of the crime, support level, but you're not seeing it take place on the intraday chart. We've had 2 days in a row, Monday and Tuesday, where NVIDIA has gapped to the upside, and that's the high of day. It's put the high in right at the morning and trended down all day, despite the fact that as a swing trader, you're getting the profits. As an intraday trader, you're not. Mainly just saying that the intraday movement, or the push to the upside, it's really only taking place overnight. Same thing happened today. You might call this a repeat session or a double whammy. Nevertheless, just keep this in mind in the back of your studies here, that even though a stock can bounce and can go higher, sometimes the high of day is the opening print. Just found that to be interesting. On the other hand, we have stocks trending up and trending down. So NextEra Energy, we're going to see this and others. It's going to be another stock split. It's a split decision. So this stock will be actually decreasing in value. Nevertheless, it did get a push to the upside, bounce, and it did rally on that news. And these names are at the lows there, but Netflix holds support. I think that's the theme of the video, really, anyway. Is this support bounce on live support, or does it have more legs to the upside? That's our broader picture. Let's take a look at some of the scan candidates, and this is just another view. Sometimes I like to show you this with strong stocks getting stronger. So to be clear, the S&P 500, the SPX, SPY, all of that, not making new highs. Not yet, at least. All right, we don't expect too much to come out of this, but we are carefully watching this week and carefully watching the Fed. But there are stocks that are already making new highs, and they may be some of our usual suspects. So what I'll do with this scan, I'll detach it just to show you sort of quickly what these names are. So I'll sort this as usual by sector and just take a look at some of the groupings. Right now that's industrials, includes John Deere and Union Pacific, Norfolk Southern, little railroad transportation type of companies, industrials at least. Discretionary, which is Nike and McDonald's. Going to be eating the hamburgers, wearing the Nike shoes. Those are retail companies, popular big Dow components or big blue chip companies we probably all are familiar with, and they keep getting stronger. There's NextEra Energy, it's utility, and the real estate, and that's mainly materials, which includes Freeport-McMoRan, a copper company. So keeping these in mind, right? Forget about all this stuff over here. Just look at the names. I'll just pop some of these up on the chart. First, let's start with Nike. The concept is that which is strong gets stronger. And as a short-term swing trader, we want to buy the pullbacks. And that's going to get a low-risk entry or low-risk opportunity. Pullbacks to me are to the moving average. And when things look dark, that's the time to buy. It's really hard to do in real time. I understand that. But nevertheless, Nike was a pullback to support. It held strength. Remember, other stocks and the indices touched their 50-day. Nike did not. It has now achieved the flag or the pullback or retracement target and is making a new 52-week high. McDonald's is right behind it, which might not be quite as strong, but the pattern is the same. Pullback, overextension. Markets tend to fall or trade into, down away from, right, toward their 20-day moving average. And that's a good spot to get in-out spreads, call spreads, or just calls if you are an option swing trader. And the same thing played out with McDonald's. We saw NextEra Energy. Just to kind of go through some others quickly. Union Pacific, John Deere, strong stock getting stronger. Sherwin-Williams, it's a little paint company, nondescript, higher highs. CSX, nondescript as well. Norfolk Southern, also Progressive, that's a little insurance company. They have their famous commercials. Professor Bierman talks about Ball Corporation, BLL, and that's kind of a nondescript stock as well, but the same type of pattern. So we're just highlighting names that were stronger on this recent pullback, did not make lower lows, held support, and just popped up their new high targets. So these names just watch for the future if you missed some of the trades. Align Technology, there's Archer Daniels Midland, fun little stock. We always talk about here Freeport-McMoRan, little trades off of it, and the pullbacks and the flags. Little retracement opportunities. Expedia International, that's not the, or Expeditors, that's not your Expedia travel company. That's Expeditors International, and that continues higher. Same logic, same pattern, same trade, and others would include FMC, Steris, STE, IDEX. We don't really trade these, but it was showing you the pattern. The pullback and support played out. A couple more. CH Robinson. Did some trades in that a little while ago, years back. And then ALB. And that's just a bigger picture. There are strong stocks getting stronger. All these pullbacks achieved their moving average target. Right? We don't buy the highs. We let these sit in a watch list. For example, stocks making new 52-week highs, and try to buy the pullbacks or join the trend in a low-risk environment. And that's just what the pullbacks retracements. And to me, that's the 20-day moving average, or you can draw your own hand-drawn trend lines into these names. As always, be careful, be safe, and watch what the Fed does and says on Wednesday's action. That's September 16. Take care, be safe. This is Corey Rosenblum with tonight's Theo video for September 15th, 2020.